It's first pitch, it's Teddy, it's the Prez, and it's Tuesday. Theodore, people love how miserable you are with me.
I think you're just as miserable with me, Lawrence, but I appreciate that. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for the... And look, let's be real. We don't do that. I mean, you and I will sit here and argue all day. When we talk on the phone, we do the exact same thing that we do on air, pretty much. But we got people listening. We got people watching. I appreciate them taking time out. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to spend time with me and Prez so I can mock him for what were you doing just there, patting your hair? What's that all about?
Theodore, let's get to it, dude. You do not have a lot of time with us. We've got a lot of games to go through. I want to give out a promo first, and this is a monster of a promotion, and it is all about me. Long story short, I hit just under 70% return on everybody's money last year in baseball. I don't recall having a losing baseball season, but I have been doing this since 1998, so it could have happened. And baseball, well, it's the sport to bet on, period, end of story. Our season packages in baseball are upwards of $900 for the first 5 people who head over to WagerTalk.com and use the promo codes I'm going to give out. It's only $399, and that's not all, Teddy. If you email Missy at WagerTalk.com, I'll throw my NHL Playoffs in for free. And on top of all of that, if I lose this baseball season even 1 unit, you get Teddy for a year for free.
So let me get this straight. You beg me to do this pod with you. You come out with this great promotion for you, and if you lose, they get a year, $1 million for free. No, I don't really like that promotion. Let's do
If I lose, you get double your money back in WagerBuxx. Double your money back in WagerBuxx. It could only be used on me. I was just kidding, Teddy. But boy, did that take a little bit of a hand grenade reaction from you.
Okay, if you're looking for smiles, man, you got the wrong guy on the wrong day.
But you're smiling. Did you win your 5% play last night in baseball?
I did, nice and easy. Yeah,
Chicago Cubs, way to go.
Yeah, Cubs, the 3-run lead in the top of the first, and it was they led the all game. It was never a sweat.
Nicely done, brother. Nicely done. What's on tap for tonight?
I've got a single MLB selection, a slugfest, primed to go over the total, and we're in action on the Spurs and the Nuggets in the NBA tonight. So looking for the 2-0 Tuesday sweep.
And everybody, Tony Finn, he's got a 5% play in NBA tonight. Make sure to check that out. Also watch Puck Time with Carmen Alex, and Morning Joe has Tony on today. As well, listeners, I've decided to include you all in these shows. So if you want to get on the show with us, every Wednesday we are welcoming anybody who wants to come on, even if you suck. Email me at prez@wagertalk.com. Get Skype, get a camera, get a mic, and we'd love to have you talk some baseball with us. Speaking of baseball, brother, there's a slew of games on tap tonight. We're going to go through them all one at a time. Boston at the Yankees. Well, we're going to see this matchup a lot this year. Both teams struggling to start the season. Yankees are 6-9. Boston is 6-11. The home team is -115. The over and under here is 8.5. We have Chris Sale against James Paxton on the mound. Both of them sporting a garbage ERA and a brutal whip. But surely they're going to turn it around, especially Chris Sale. Teddy, what do you think on this game?
No, I'm not playing it. I mean, I wasn't even close to playing it. When it comes to the Yankees and Red Sox, in general, a lot of times I'm looking for a contrarian approach to these games. They're high-profile games. They tend to attract more betting attention than most do. And that's not my MO. I'm looking for games. I mean, it's not about the TV winners. It's not about the Yankees, Red Sox. It's just, here's Sale, who He pitched one gem, and he's got roughed up 2 times. He's got a great trend. The current Yankees have an OPS of 499 against Sale in their career, which is all you need to know. But neither of these teams is playing the type of baseball right now that I'm interested in backing. I'm not going to get involved in the game. I wasn't even close.
Detroit playing Pittsburgh tonight. 8-7 for the Tigers. 8-6.
What order are you going in?
My order.
Okay, what you should do, if you're actually going to do this that's helpful for our viewers, is you go in rotation order. Because that's where I have my notes. That's where they have theirs. Don't make a tongue face at me. Hey, comments. Do you guys want the games in whatever random order Prez has, or do you want them in rotation order so you can actually follow and all of our notes are played? Here's the NL games. Here's the AL games. You're just throwing out some game. Where did you get that order?
By time.
Yeah. Okay. Knock yourself out. Rotation order, please.
Well, it's not going to happen right now, but next time I have you on, I promise you I will do it in rotation order.
For someone that hasn't lost in baseball since whatever year you claim that you haven't lost in baseball since, you should probably go in rotation order.
Okay, thank you, Teddy. Anything else?
That's a hint, man.
Let's just shut up and have a moment to drink. That was good.
So it's weird. Every time you bring your elbow up to drink, the shading on your camera changes and you get dark because you got light coming in on the right side. You really should spend a few dollars and have a consultant come in there and get your camera work better.
Well, what happened was my camera broke, so I'm using the Mac camera, but I am going to fix that. And yes, Teddy, not only am I going to do that, but sometime this summer I'm actually going to put a studio in my house.
Cool.
So it'll be way better come this season. Now, can you shut up and let's get this going?
There we go. That's the annoyance. See, it's so funny because if I start out mad and you start out happy, all I have to do is transfer my angst to you and to hear you say something like, let's shut up and get going, all grumpy.
So shut up, dude. Detroit against Pittsburgh. Pick'em game, basically 7.5 is the over and under. Musgrave versus Boyd. Musgrave, Teddy, 15 innings pitched, an ERA of zilch. Boyd, 2.60. That's reflected in the over and under at 7.5. Do you have any thoughts in this game, young man?
The Tigers have cooled off since their hot start. I'll just put that very clearly. They were going to. Musgrave certainly has bet on potential. So does Boyd. The market's moving heavily towards Detroit today. And I can understand it conceptually, but it's not a game that stood out to me in any way, shape, or form. It's not a game that I'm like, yeah. These are not teams I'm looking to back. These are not over teams I want to ride. These are not under teams I'm looking to fade. So it's a game that for me was a fairly quick pass.
He's Teddy. I'm the Prez. You're watching First Pitch, and you're going to hear a whole lot of passing from Teddy. New York Mets versus Philadelphia. 9-6 Phillies. 10-6 Mets. New York won last night 7-6. The over and under in this game is 9. The home team is favored at -120. The Mets have won one of their last 3 games. Philly is zigzagging right now. Where are you going in this one, brother?
Look, I mean, my thought process going into the season was I want to be betting the Phillies over at home.
Yes.
That hasn't changed. I look at this lineup, and again, Matz is pretty good.
And
the Phillies lefties.
Pavetta's got an almost 10 ERA right now.
Sure, again, ERAs after 3 games. ERA is not a meaningful MLB statistic in any way, shape, or form in this stage. If you're not using advanced metrics, you're 15 years behind. But you can keep throwing out ERAs.
Oh, shut up, Teddy.
What do you mean, shut up? It's like, if we're going to do a baseball podcast, the goal is to help people, not to give them
listeners, Teddy, this is Teddy's last time on First Pitch.
Thank the Lord. I did it.
So what do you like in this game, schmuck?
What did I say? I said, in general, at Citizens Bank Ballpark, I'm looking to bet these games over the total. I like the Phillies lineup. I like the Mets lineup. I am worried about the fact that Philadelphia just played in back-to-back extra inning games. I'm worried they're a little bit gassed, but I do not trust any of that bullpen after Pivetta leaves the game. And as you mentioned, Pivetta has had more than his share of struggles in early season play.
Washington versus San Fran. San Fran is surprise 7-10. I think they were a really bad team. They're plus 165 tonight. The over and under is 8. I'm looking at betting a lot of these San Fran games under the total, and we're seeing that. 4-0 loss to Colorado, 5-2 win, 3-2 win, 1-0 win, 3-1 loss to San Diego. These games are going under 4 of the last 5, with one of them being a push. I know 8 for me is a high number in a San Fran game. I like the under. Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, Strasburg's certainly an under type of pitcher. That being said, the Nats can hit. The Giants can and the Nats can, and that merits this price tag. It certainly merits a total in this range. Washington, back-to-back-to-back 3-run games. Prior to that, they scored, what did they score? 15, 10, 12, 5, 9. I mean, every game they were flying over the total. And they continue to be an over team, a team that I look to bet in that direction. But the Giants, what did they do? They just won they snapped out of their funk. They won 3 out of 4. That's probably as good as it's going to get for the Giants right now. I am not impressed with that team at all. Might be a spot for Washington on the run line.
Baltimore 7-10 against Tampa Bay, one of the best teams in the league. It's still early, but we actually spoke about them in our MLB preview show, and we all really like this team. They're minus 250 tonight, though. The over and under is 8. It's a massive, massive number. Bundy versus Glasnow. Bundy is garbage. I don't want to tell you his ERA because I might get whipped. Get it? A pun. But Glasnow, 17 innings pitched, on fire. Where are you going in this one?
I'm not going in this one. I mean, look, this is the wrong price range for Tampa Bay. I like Tampa Bay with their bullpen by committee games where you're laying 130 or you're laying 140, not laying 260. And at this stage, the market's, not to say they crashed on Baltimore, but they've crashed on Baltimore already. If you're playing against the Orioles, you probably have to do it on the run line to get any semblance of value. That's the only way I would look in this one. And I don't trust Tampa's offense enough to lay a run and a half with them. So it's an easy pass for me.
Brother, the Marlins are 4-13 on the season. They're playing the Cubs. You played the Cubs last night. They laid the smackdown 7-2, and they're a short favorite against a really bad team. Minus 134. The over and under here is 7.5. I cannot back the Marlins at any point right now. Lopez on the mound. I don't quite understand this number. I understand Quintana has not had a good start to the season. But even with the juice, I got to look at the Cubs.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the MLB betting marketplace focuses on many things that I don't focus on. They're going to focus on a team's potential. They're going to focus on a lot of advanced metric stats from the pitchers. They're not going to focus on, is Team A better than Team B? Is Team A's lineup capable of scoring runs? Is Team B's lineup capable of scoring runs? And which bullpen can get outs? And in my mind, in 2019, that's the way to beat MLB. Lineups and bullpens. And when you look at the lineups and the bullpens, there's no comparison between these two teams. The Cubs didn't even have a good game last night. They scored 7 runs. They couldn't get they got a couple of clutch hits. They didn't have any. But Chicago's offense is capable of putting up runs, and Miami's isn't. And it's just that simple. Yeah, I'm with you. It'd Quintana and the Cubs are pass for me.
He's Teddy Covers. I'm the Prez. You can find me at WagerTalk.com and Teddy at both Sports Memo and Wager Talk. Teddy, I want to talk Atlanta versus Arizona. I told everybody at the beginning of the season I'm going to be betting a lot of these Atlanta games over the total. I think their pitching is okay, but they've got a rock-solid hitting lineup. Last 2 games went over, 7-3 against the Mets, a win, 11-7 against the Mets, a win. Arizona, though, I don't like the overs in the Arizona game, although they did go over in their last game, 8-4 win against San Diego. Atlanta minus 140. The over and under is 8.5. Robbie Ray versus Max Fried. And Max Fried with a duck ERA, 13 innings pitched. What do you like?
Yeah, I was really disappointed in this line. I thought I would get a cheaper price to lay with Fried than I am. Although the money's come on Robbie Ray, and the money will come on Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's a wise guy favorite. And you look at the advanced metric stats, your XFIPs and that sort of stuff, Prez.
Yes, go on, Teddy. Don't lecture me.
I'm not lecturing you. I'm just offering you stats you can look at. Yeah. Show me the guns. Yeah. All right, Vegas Dave. Show me those guns.
That's the second time I've been called Vegas Dave today. What the hell?
When you're walking around showing your guns, you're going to get called acting like a moron. You're going to get called Vegas Dave. That's what he does.
Okay. Yeah. It's also what Hulk Hogan does.
Robbie Ray. And so Fried. I wanted to lay a cheap price with Atlanta here. My buy price, I backed Fried a couple times already this year. He's won both of his starts, as you mentioned, to pitch very, very well. He's not one of these super highly regarded prospects. You're not laying a premium with him. The money is coming the other way. I think Atlanta's the better of these two teams. And like I said, I was disappointed with the opener, 155, 150. Now I'm seeing 135s out there. That's not a bad strike price on Atlanta. It really isn't. And I wouldn't talk you out of an over, even though I do like Fried in this one. I'm with you on the Braves as being a team. I'm going to be betting over the total on a regular basis.
The Blue Jays, 6-11 against the 8-5 Twinkies. Blue Jays won last night, 5-3. But they're a bad baseball team. They're plus 130 tonight. The over and under is 9. Minnesota's won 2 of their last 3 games. They've got Gibson on the mound. He is not pitching well, but he only has 9 innings to look at. Aaron Sanchez pitching great so far. With that said, I think the Twinkies bounce back. I don't want to lay 150. This is an outright pass for me.
Yeah, see, I'd be definitely inclined to lay it with Minnesota. And again, the start. This is Savransky handicapping 101. Okay.
Who is this Savransky guy?
Teddy Covers, my friend. That's my last name. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I'm not going to say your last name. You're welcome.
Go ahead, dude. I don't know. It's Presman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So mine's Savransky, man.
Savransky Berg.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's say handicapping 101. Toronto is a shitty team. Minnesota is a decent team. Toronto's got the hot pitcher on the mound. Minnesota doesn't. So you're laying a cheaper price with the superior team with the inferior starter. I recognize they have the inferior starting pitching. However, their lineup is better. Their bullpen is better. And we're laying a cheap price to do it. It's Minnesota or pass. Has Toronto won 2 in a row this season? Off a loss. I'm sorry, off a win. If they did, it came the first week. Betting against Toronto off a win is a strategy. Oh, no, they did have the back-to-back shutouts against the
Detroit.
Tigers. Yeah. And the opening homestand. But betting against the BJs off a win makes sense to me.
Yeah. I like BJs. St. Louis Cardinals on the road, 9-7, playing Milwaukee. I don't think I've won a Milwaukee game yet this year. I did suggest they were going to win yesterday. I just didn't bet it. They're minus 120 today. The over and under is 9. St. Louis, they've won a lot of games in the last 7 or 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their last 8 games. Milwaukee, 3 of their last 4. We've got Flaherty against Woodruff. Teddy, where do we bet this game?
Good question. If I was going to play, I would probably lay with Milwaukee. And it's a cheap price to lay because the markets like Flaherty. They like him a lot. His advanced metrics are solid. He's had good success against this Brewers lineup in the past. Current Brewers hitting 194 against him with an OPS of 600. But, yeah, you see what Yelich did last night again versus the Cardinals. I mean, single-handedly, what was he responsible for? 7 RBIs as the Brewers rallied a couple times for that victory. And after St. Louis tied it, Milwaukee again with the offensive outburst to win that ball game. I worry about the Cardinals bullpen tonight most assuredly. I kind of worry about the Brewers bullpen here a little bit too. No surprise, this is another relatively high-scoring game. A little bit of under money This one 9 to the over at the open, now at 9 minus under. The under is minus 115 in a lot of spots, and not my money on the under. I'll put it that way. But again, the markets love Flaherty. You're seeing money for him on a regular basis. His advanced metrics are solid, and he has had a couple of decent starts against these Brewers.
Theodore, 6 games, 10 minutes. Let's get through it. LA Angels 4-12 to the over this year. Texas 9-6, but they're always playing to the over, this Texas team. We have a 10.5 on the board. Texas is minus 130. Berea versus Minor. Both pitchers are mediocre. Is this game going over?
It might. Certainly, we look at that Rangers lineup last night. Texas was, hitting the cover off the ball, and the ball's carrying in Arlington. You kind of expect that to continue.
Yep, 12-7 win by Texas last night.
Sure, and then they were down 4-0 early.
And they put up an 8 spot against Oakland, a 6 spot, a 5 spot against Arizona. I mean, this team is playing to the over 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. But, the Angels aren't.
Well, the Angels started, 12-3 to the under their first 15 games. They flew over yesterday.
That they did. That's good analysis there, Teddy, after I tell you the score.
Listen, we have to tell how many games more?
5 you have to put up with.
Well, you're like a hurry, and then you're like blah, leaving these 8-minute pregnant pauses in the middle of the discussion.
Well, I'm waiting for you to talk. So what do you like in this game?
I said I lean over.
Okay, over it is. Kansas City, Chicago White Sox. Look at this one. 11-4 to the over for the Royals. 10-5 to the over for the White Sox. And you're getting a 9.5 on the board. Chicago is minus 120. Kansas City, after a horrid start, they swept Cleveland, but they did lose last night 5-4. But they have won 3 of their last 4 games. The White Sox have also won 3 of their last 4 games. Lopez versus Lopez, the Lopez brothers. What do you like?
Over.
It seems like the play, especially with
Ronaldo. Has nothing to do
on.
with the starting pitching, has nothing to do with the lineups. These are 2 bad bullpens. These are 2 very bad bullpens. And we saw it last night. The game ends on not a blown save, it was the 8th. That was the 8th. We hit the bomb. And it ended up staying under by a hook in that contest. Worth noting, it was freezing in Chicago yesterday. It's supposed to be significantly warmer today, which is better hitting conditions. And we are talking about 2 bottom-tier bullpens, neither of which is fresh, which sets the stage for all kinds of late-inning run-scoring opportunities.
Teddy, I don't know about you, but I expected a better performance from the Rockies. They're 5-12 on the season. And San Diego is 11-7. We've spoken to Dave Koken many times, and he really likes this San Diego team. Colorado's won their last 2 games in a row. They beat San Diego last night. San Diego is minus 113 to 118. The over and under is 7.5. What do you want to do in this game, young man?
I'm not going to play it. In general, I want to be on the Padres. I'm with Koken in the concept that, look, the NL West, it's the second week of April, the third week of April now. The NL West is a 2-team race. It's Padres, Dodgers, and those 2 teams are going to be in it in September, and everyone else is an afterthought. I'm not surprised by the Rockies' struggles early on. Certainly John Gray is their starter today. He's had a real rough outing. However, you look at John Gray's quotes about pitching at Petco. The guy loves pitching there. He's pitched gems there. He threw a gem there last year. This is my favorite park in baseball to pitch. If ever there's a place that John Gray's going to get healthy and pitch well, it's probably this venue. Of course, it doesn't matter if the bullpen behind him blows a save. And the kid for San Diego going, Margavitas, or Gavictus, whatever his name is, he has 3 starts above single A ball. I mean, he's not a guy who many expected to be ready. He's going to get 1 or 2 times through the rotation. It's likely going to be extended bullpen action for the Padres tonight, which, we've seen a little bit of over money come in that ball game. Markets don't trust Gray. I don't know if I want to bet this over in San Diego tonight. Not with the way the Rockies are hitting, which is not very much.
Houston versus Oakland. Houston's 11-5 on the season, but only 5 of their games have gone over. 11 has gone under. They're playing Oakland. Oakland is a plus 140 home dog. The over and under is 8.5 or 9. Houston is absolutely rolling. They've won 9 games in a row. They swept Seattle. They swept the Yankees. They swept Oakland. 3 series sweeps in a row. Oakland has won 4 of their last 5. They did lose their last game to Texas. McHugh against Estrada. Estrada has started off terrible. I actually look at this game to go over the total.
So let's start with this. I'm not stepping in front of the Astros right now. This is nothing that was shocking. They got off to a little bit of fire in the season. Yeah. Well, they're 5 in the season. Now they won in a row. Being a sweep of Oakland. And I'm telling you, the A's were demoralized. They were non-competitive, but it was a very rough series. I'm confident Oakland this return series triple circled on their schedule. That being said, can you trust Estrada against a good lineup? I can't. The dude is vulnerable to dingers, and when you're vulnerable to dingers against Houston's lineup, it can be a problem. McHugh's bet on for what it's worth. The Astros are bet on for what it's worth. Unfortunately, boy, the markets are there already. I'm disappointed in this number for Houston, but that's the only way I could look. And I wouldn't argue with an over in this one, given that I don't trust Estrada against this lineup.
Speaking of overs, Cleveland and Seattle. Seattle's gone over 13 out of 18 games. Well, 19 games. They pushed on 1. Over and under here is 8. Seattle is basically a pick'em. It's plus 101, 106, whatever. Cleveland minus 125. We called Cleveland to win yesterday. Bauer was on the mound. They won 6-4, and that's after they got swept by Kansas City. Bieber versus Leak tonight, Teddy. I like the over again in this game. What do you think?
Well, the Mariners were 13-2. They came home. Now they're 13-6. And 13-2, that 11 games over 500, that will be their high water mark of the season. The question now is, how long does Seattle stay above 500? This is a bet against team. They overachieved early. They've shown me a lot of fight. I've been really impressed with the at-bats the Mariners are taking late in games when trailing. And that is a concern here to lay, any type of price with Cleveland. I'm seeing minus 115s right now on my sports memo odds screen. Big game yesterday for the Tribe after getting swept in KC. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see them keep that momentum going. And I'll tell you what, when you talk about tired retreads, Mike Leake had her near the top of the list. He's not a hurler I have a whole lot of interest in backing in a pick'em price range.
Last game on tap, the Dodgers minus anywhere from 181 to 200. The over and under is 8.5. They just beat Cincinnati yesterday 4-3. They have won 2 games in a row after losing 6 in a row. Cincinnati won 4 of their last 6, but they have lost their last 2, 4-3 to the Dodgers and 9-5 to St. Louis. Mahel versus Maeda. Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. What do you want to do in this game?
So my gut reaction with Dodgers games right now is I'm looking to bet LA games over the total. In general, this lineup is loaded. The bullpen is not.
They've gone under the total. They've gone under the total 3 in a row.
I understand that. I'm saying in general, I'm trying to talk about what my focus points for various teams are. Hey, I want this team in a dog roll.
I agree, dude. I agree. I like the overs in it. I like the overs in Atlanta all year. I understand.
My thought process in the Dodgers is this is an over team, and when Kershaw goes on the hill next time, I'll be betting him over the total too. Even though last night's game didn't get there, wild 9th inning, of course, with the Reds getting the lead in the top of the 9th and then blowing it in the bottom of the 9th. I worry about Cincinnati in this game, coming off a big series in Mexico, blown save loss last night. It's not an optimal spot to beat up on Maeda today.
Teddy, you told me you needed to get out of here at 12:24. It's 12:23. You are the best, brother. Thanks for doing this. The great news for you is you're not coming on again with me this week.
That is great news.
But Monday, we'll see you on Morning Joe, and let's book Tuesday in as your spot for first pitch. I retract what I said earlier. You're welcome back.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about Tuesday. We'll talk about it off air. Unless you want to discuss it on air, that's fine with me. But yeah, we'll talk about it. I don't want to lock in on Tuesdays just this minute.
Lock in any bloody day you want. Your Teddy covers, for Christ's sake. You also did not email me a video of Isaac drumming.
Sorry, I forgot. Hey, I'm busy, man.
Doing what? And I'm the Prez, he's Teddy. We are done.
Thank you.